The Australian says the decision to not tour the sites where the October 7 Hamas attacks occurred in Israel, which they say it may concern Israeli government officials and could spark anger among Australia's Jewish community. Do you agree with that as well?
Well, Kenny, while it's welcome that Penny Wong is travelling to the Middle East, I think it's taken too long for her to do so. She has to get the balance right, and it's very hard to see how she's going to get the balance right if she doesn't travel to the sites where those heinous Hamas massacres took place. And so I think, the Parliament would say to Penny Wong, please take a little bit of extra time and go there, because it's incredibly important on this mission that you get the balance right. And it's important for social cohesion back in Australia. And I think she should take some extra time and make sure she visits those sites. Then she's had a comprehensive visit. Without that, she hasn't had a comprehensive visit.
Yeah, I believe it's about a 90-minute drive from Tel Aviv, and I understand that there are time constraints on this tour. But is it a missed opportunity? Because wouldn't Israel more likely be willing to listen to what our Foreign Minister has to say if she saw firsthand what happened in Israel last year?
Well, it is going to be a missed opportunity if she doesn't go there. And that's why I say to the Foreign Minister, no one is going to criticise you for taking some extra time. It's taking an extra half a day while you're over there. It's obviously a visit which is going to be a visit of a number of days. And just to cut that bit short seems like you're not getting the balance right. And I don't think it points well to how the government has handled this issue right along. It doesn't seem to have got the balance right. The Israeli community in Australia doesn't think the government has got the balance right. And by omitting this key part of her visit to the Middle East, once again, she's not getting the balance right. And that is not good for social cohesion in this nation. And that is the number one priority of the government, of the Prime Minister and of the Foreign Minister, especially when it comes to this issue.
Over the weekend, we saw the Taiwanese elections where the incumbent DPP party was elected again, which is said to be an embarrassment for China. If China does decide to respond to that election with something like trade sanctions, for example, on Taiwan to punish the island for electing someone that they didn't want, how would you like the Albanese government to respond, if at all?
Well, first of all, it's wonderful that democracy is allowed to act and allowed to speak in Taiwan. And it was a free and fair elections. And I think right across the international community, we should welcome that. I think the second point I would make, and as Australia's Trade Minister, I witnessed this firsthand, coercion, trade sanctions, etcetera, don't work, because what you tend to find is countries will find other markets and they'll tend to boost their efforts to find other markets. And it actually hurts the country which is imposing the trade sanctions or the trade coercion. We saw that here in Australia. We were able to find other markets, and in the end, the Chinese government has decided, I think in its own national interest, that that trade coercion didn't work. So my clear message to the Chinese government would be, what you need to do is work with the new Taiwanese government that was democratically elected, and to make sure that cross-strait rivalry, we head in the right direction. What the world wants to see is good, close interaction between both Taiwan and China. The world, or Australia and the majority of the world, has a one China policy. What we need to see is that policy work in a way where we have a peaceful approach, not one where you're looking for some sort of military or trade actions that we think are counterproductive to the long-term interests of both China and the people of Taiwan.
Dan Tehan, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny.